Retirement Clarity Radio. I am your host, Scott Newhouse. I am so honored that you are with me. We are continuing our little mini series on Social Security. This is our second episode on Social Security, and what we're going to focus on today is playing the long game of Social Security, thinking long term of Social Security, and some of the benefits of waiting to take your Social Security benefits. Now, you're obviously going to have this episode and a few more episodes on Social Security. If you want to learn even more about the program and how to make the most of it, a couple resources for you. First of all, my book, 10 Steps to Getting What You Deserve, a guide to your Social Security and Medicare decisions, as well as 65 questions to ask and answer before you retire. You can get both of those books for free at freeretirementbooks.com. Again, that's freeretirementbooks.com. So you're going to have the option to get it for free, just a nice little PDF copy. You can get it, in just a couple seconds. And if you want to help me out a little bit, give me a couple bucks. You can buy it on Amazon, and I'll get a coffee in your honor, because the books are very affordable if you want to get it on Amazon. So anyways, let's get into today's episode. Again, some of the benefits of waiting to take Social Security. And I mentioned this in our last episode. It really pays to wait. There's no way around it. Your benefits grow from age 62 up until age 70 by 8% a year that you delay taking it. So if you take it early, you're going to get a reduced benefit. You take it at your full retirement age between 66 and 67, you'll get 100% of your benefit. You wait till age 70, you'll get increase the benefit of around, 132% of your estimated benefit if you wait until age 70. Let's look at some actual numbers, though, to put this into perspective so that we're all kind of clear on what your benefit amount would be depending on when you claim it. So, hypothetical situation, you could potentially take your benefit at age 62 and hypothetically receive $750 a month. Now, if you had waited until age 66, which is what we're assuming is your full retirement age, your benefit would have been $1,000. So $750 you take it at 62, $1,000 if you wait until 66, your full retirement age. Now, if you would have waited until age 70, it would have been $1,320. So if you're able to wait to take your benefits by those 8 years all the way up until age 70, from 62 to 70, you get an extra $570 per month for the rest of your lifetime. And that's 76% more than what you would have gotten at age 62. Now, there's another benefit. So obviously, let me slow down a little bit. Obviously, that's a huge benefit. Getting that big chunk of $570 per month, or 76% more per month for the rest of your life. So if you can wait those 8 years from 62 to 70, your benefit grows, and then you get that bigger paycheck for the rest of your life. There's one more benefit to waiting, and that is that all of the amounts that you get in Social Security are adjusted for inflation. And Social Security sets that with the cost of living adjustment. So if you have a larger benefit, obviously, and you get a percentage benefit increase, your benefit increase is going to be bigger, since the number that you have of your benefit is bigger than what if it would have been taken at 62. So you wait longer, you get a bigger benefit, and then when you get the cost of living adjustment, your cost of living adjustment is bigger, since you have a bigger number to multiply by that percentage. Hopefully that makes sense. And then just for your records, since 2000, the average cost of living adjustment by Social Security has been 2.16%. So it doesn't necessarily keep up with inflation, but they do adjust it every year. So something to keep in mind. Now, there's another thing to keep in mind when you think about taking your Social Security benefits later, and that's something called your break-even age. Your break-even age simply refers to when you would receive equal benefits using different ages to claim your benefits. So I'm actually got this great example from Investopedia, full credit to them. And we're going to talk a little bit about what this means, this break-even age, and kind of how it applies. So let's say Susan's debating between taking her benefits at age 62 as well as age 65. So 62 or 65, when am I going to take my benefits? If she were to take it at age 62, her benefits would be $800 a month. And so for the first 3 years that she took her benefits, she would receive in total $28,800. So 62 to 65, $800 a month for 3 years, $28,800. That's her total amount. Just kind of remember that total amount. Now, the question she's asking is, what would it look like if I waited until age 65, got a bigger benefit amount per month, and how would that compare to the earlier age of age 62? So if she waits until 65, her benefit would go up to $1,000 per month. So she knew if she took her benefit at age 62, she would have accumulated $28,800 by the time she hit 65. And if she had delayed her credits, Social Security credits, up until age 65, then she wouldn't have accumulated anything from those benefits until she turned 65. So those first 3 years, 62 to 65, she would have received $28,800. Or if she would have delayed taking her credits, she wouldn't have received anything because she just hasn't received her credits yet. So the question she tries to ask now that she has these numbers is, at what age does waiting until 65 accumulate more lifetime benefits than taking it at age 62? So that's essentially the break-even age. At what point will waiting to take my benefits give me more money than if I had taken it earlier? That's our break-even age. So in Susan's case, if we use those two benefit ages as well as the amounts, either 62 versus 65, her break-even age is 77 years old. So after age 77, Susan will have accumulated more money by waiting until age 65 than if she had taken it earlier. So obviously from 62 to 65, she'll get more benefits by taking it earlier because she won't get anything if she waits until 65. But if she waits until 65, it's going to take her 12 years to accumulate more lifetime benefits from taking it later, since she'll get that bigger monthly check for the rest of her life. Now, there is one giant variable in all of this that no one knows the answer to, and that's exactly how long you're going to live. Generally speaking, if someone were to take their benefits earlier and then passes away in their late 70s, they might have accumulated more Social Security benefits than if they had waited. So in other words, if you don't think your life expectancy is much beyond 75, 77, 78, then it might make sense for you to take it earlier. However, if you're going to live into your 80s and potentially your 90s, then you would have accumulated more money by delaying your Social Security benefits. And so one thing to consider when you claim your Social Security and you're considering different age claiming strategies is to look for this break-even age. When is it going to make more sense? At what age will it make more sense for me to delay waiting to take my Social Security credits? So those are some of the things that I think about when I talk with my clients in terms of when should we take Social Security. I've got one more thing for this episode though, and it's a question I get quite a lot, which is, will my Social Security benefits still be there if I wait? It's a good question. There's a lot of nervousness about Social Security, especially with what's happened with the coronavirus and how much money the government's had to spend on stimulus effects, and frankly, the lack of bipartisanship in our government. We haven't really made any adjustments to the Social Security program since the 80s, and neither party really wants to take full responsibility for it. They don't compromise, so we're kind of just on the same system that we set up originally with some tweaks, and we haven't really made any major tweaks in quite a while. Now, I'm going to try and condense my answer to this question a little bit, so bear with me. Social Security and Medicare, for that matter, are paid by two different sources. The first is payroll taxes. So people still working, they pay payroll taxes out of their paychecks, and that helps fund Social Security and Medicare. And that takes up around 75% of the Social Security benefits. So payroll taxes accounts for 75% of our Social Security benefits. That other percentage comes from trust funds. So when the government took in more revenues than it spent in the 80s and 90s, they built up these trust funds, and since some point in the early to mid 2000s, we've been spending those trust funds down. The trust funds are actually, for Social Security, set to run out of money in the early 2030s. So there is going to have to be some kind of governmental change for us to make up those added benefits that we're missing out on. So at some point in the early 2030s, we're only going to have payroll taxes to rely on to fund Social Security, and we won't have the trust funds anymore, so long as Congress and the president don't make any changes. So hopefully they're going to have to make some changes. There's a number of different things that they can do to kind of make sure that we have Social Security for the people that need it for retirement income. They could push back the age for full benefits. They could lower the inflation increases for Social Security. They could tax Social Security benefits more than what they're already doing. They could potentially decrease benefit amounts. That doesn't sound like a great idea. They can raise the contribution amounts, i.e. also the taxes of working Americans, in order to fund that. So there is going to have to be some kind of change in order to keep paying out 100% of our Social Security benefits. And I hope we do make that change. But it is something to keep in mind, and it is something that I stay top of mind of as a financial planner. Now, all that being said, I frankly, I'm making a political prediction here, which is not all that easy, but I don't think for people over 50 that politicians have much interest in changing your benefit amount, or frankly, paying you less than what you're promised and that you paid into the system for. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think more likely change is maybe some tax increases and potentially benefit decreases for people, my age. I'm 34 years old, so maybe people in their 20s and 30s, they may not have the same kind of system when they retire. But for people over 50, I do think Social Security is going to be around for you. I think you're still going to get your full benefit amount. I do think that we're just going to have some kind of political changes to make sure that the system's still there for the people that need that retirement income. So I don't recommend taking your benefits early just because you're worried about the system. Now, if it makes sense to take your benefits early for other reasons, then that's something to consider. But I wouldn't take your benefits early and lose out on that 8% growth per year that you could get just because you're kind of worried about the politics. But it is something to think about, and it's something I've written about, and it's something that's really important for me in terms of what policy gets passed and making sure that we're taking care of the people who have paid into the system. So that's all I've got for today's episode. I think there's a lot of really good benefits to waiting until age, at least full retirement age or age 70 to take your Social Security. It grows 8% a year. That's an amazing quote-unquote return. It's not an investment return, but it's going to grow 8% a year. You also want to make sure you calculate your break-even age so that you know kind of the comparison of taking it early versus waiting to take it, and at what age would I need to live to accumulate the most lifetime benefits. And then if you actually want to learn more about kind of the public policy regarding Social Security, Medicare, income taxes, you should pick up my book, The Retirement Tax Bomb: How to Protect Your 401k from Impending Tax Increases and Create a Tax-Free Retirement. You can get that book at freeretirementbooks.com. freeretirementbooks.com. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott Newhouse, your host. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, scott@forthrightfinances.com. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks again for listening. As a reminder, you should consult with a financial advisor familiar with the specific circumstances of your unique financial situation before making any financial decisions. Nothing in this podcast is a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Any mentions of rate of return are hypothetical in nature and not a guarantee of future returns. Scott Newhouse, CFP, is an investment advisor representative of Forthright Finances, a California and Nevada registered investment advisor.